What is happening, everybody? Stream Your Mind here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to beat Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin with my fists only. So, join me in this epic battle for the ages. Before we begin though, I'm getting closer and closer to 3,000 subscribers. So if you are new, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps more than you know. And with all that said, thank you and let's do this. Oh, beautiful. Just the type of guy that would slap the world around. I chose Warrior as my class and picked up the Bonfire Static as my gift. After arriving in Majula, I immediately left and waited for everyone's favorite door to open. I ran like the wind past everything and arrived at the Cardinal Tower. Oh look, I got a new fan. Hey bro, take my autograph. After unlocking the shortcut, I quickly visited Hyde's Tower to take the Dragon Rider out for a swim. Used the levels gained for some ADP and went on to face the last giant. Alright, let's see that damage. Well, it most certainly took a while, but eventually, with a lot of patience, our giant friend met his demise. I then quickly leveled up my strength, accidentally shot the pursuer for the Ring of Blades. Oh no, Ryan is out to get me! So I worked back to Majula, bought the cat ring, got the Estus shard, convinced my lost grandma to move back to the nursing home, bought some life gems, hoped that this fall wouldn't kill me.
Mission accomplished.
Picked up the Pharaoh's Lockstone, arrived at the Grave of Saints, got invaded by Roy, used the Pharaoh's Lockstone to lower one of the bridges, and entered the Royal Rat Authority boss fight. Damn, I did a lot of things. Alright, it's just a bunch of rats, so how hard could this be? As a matter of fact, really hard actually. You have to kill around 10 rats to get the actual boss to spawn, but it's pretty darn difficult since just to kill one you'll deplete your entire stamina bar, giving these furry damn things the opportunity to gank and kill you in seconds. So I went back to Majula to kill the Crestfallen Knight for the Ring of Steel protection, picked up the Ring of Bindings, and made the terrible mistake to piss off Licia, which led to some pretty hilarious stats on my behalf. And she was so sick of me that actually went for the same type of swim the Dragon Rider enjoys. She was kind of important because I could get the Emit Force Miracle from her for later, but oh well. I attempted the rats one more time, but it was apparent I needed some more time to strategize. So I went down the gutter, lit the bonfire, and picked up a fragrant branch of yore, which I used to unpetrify Rosabeth and got access to the Shaded Woods. Here I picked up the Red Tearstone Ring, lighted the Shaded Runes bonfire, and got the Old Sun Ring, which has the ability to create an explosion when you get hit too many times. And since I'm not doing the damage directly, I thought it was okay to use. It's sort of like the Ruptured Crystal Tear from Elden Ring. After lighting the bonfire and picking up some souls, I Ubered a pigeon to fly me to the Lost Bastille, where I obtained the antiquated key, and I returned to the Grave of Saints to kick some rats' ass. It was still hard as shit, don't get me wrong, since I had zero control over the explosion, and I had to be careful not to get petrified. I would always head towards the corner to start attacking these two rats, and as you can see, the damage from the explosion one-shots them, meaning I could kill the rats 3 or 4 at a time just by getting hit. Once the punk rock emo rat showed up, I was confident. Unfortunately, the ring broke halfway through the fight, so I had to finish the fight myself. And once Jerry was eliminated, I returned to Majula to join the company of Champions Covenant, burned the Ascetic at the Grave of Saints bonfire, and started farming Austins by killing Roy. Unfortunately, this was much harder than I expected. Well, mainly because I'm trash, but also because I did so little damage to his poise, I really couldn't get him to fall consistently. I know you can use force to get him to fall, but as I said, that option went and took a swim with Licia and the Dragon Rider. So I pulled out the Old Sun Ring, freshly repaired at your local blacksmith, and used the explosion to stagger my good friend Roy, and send him deep down the void. It was still hard AF, not gonna lie, and sometimes the RNG would just be a straight up bitch, and I had to get 50 of them. Eventually though, at almost 5 in the morning, I got the 50th Austin, returned to the tombstone in Majula to offer them to the Covenant one at a time. Eventually, I offered all 50 of them and was rewarded with the Vanquisher Seal, which greatly raises the attack power of bare hands and also increases the skilling. I immediately left the Covenant because I did not want my experience to be hardened because I'm a Back in the Shaded Woods, I wanted to test the new damage, and holy shit, I was not expecting it to be this effective. Poor Nashka stood no chance. Every single one of my punches hit harder than my dad. I arrived in Brightstone Seldora, but quickly returned to the gutter, found my way to the bottom and entered the Black Gulch. Wonderful place. I faced the Rotten and oh my god, the damage is insane. I almost felt bad of how disgusting my damage was. And not only that, the fists are fairly fast, which made me twice as dangerous for the poor creatures roaming the Dark Souls 2 world. After killing off the Rotten, I returned to the Emerald to level up my strength, warped back to Seldora, picked up some goodies, fought some regular enemies with a shared health bar. The fact that they drop a slap will never stop being funny to me. I then lit the bonfire in my torch because Quilak without the good bits was next on my list. And just like the previous bosses, I ate through her health bar like if I had the munchies. Got the Brightstone key, lit the primordial bonfire, leveled up some more, arrived in Huntsman Copse, lit the bonfire, killed the skellies, talked to Chloanne and bought another bonfire setting. Burnt it at the secret bonfire before Rotten, killed him again, used the souls to level up, arrived in Earthen Peak, smacked Jabba a few times in the face, got out of some sticky situation and committed vandalism and burned the public windmill. I couldn't wait to find Mitha because I like to have a snake between my lunch and dinner. I arrived in the Iron Keep, but before dealing with Mustafar, I ran through No Man's Wharf for a bit, humiliated the Flexile Sentry, went on a trip on the Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio, and then ended like him in the movie, lit the bonfire and used the souls to buy some life gems. Back in the Bastille, I got invaded by Forlorn and discovered to my surprise that this build is really effective against NPC invaders. I freed the most polite and pleasant person in the world and picked up the bonfire aesthetic near the cage elevator. Since I was already in the area, I paid a visit to the Lost Sinner, ending the fight quickly and efficiently without ever breaking a sweat. As usually, after a boss, I leveled up, burned another bonfire aesthetic in Black Gulch. It feels like I'm reenacting the ending of Doctor Strange 1. With the Rotten dead, I finally became a millionaire, leveled up some more, went back to Bowser's Castle, and I was shocked. I was enjoying my time here in Iron Keep. If only I knew on my first playthrough that I could simply kill Roy 50 times to appreciate this level to its fullest. I was literally one-shotting everyone. I even killed Sharon without any problems at all. I did end up getting ganked at the fog wall at some point before Smelter, but eventually I got through and things went a little bit like this. I only killed the Smelter demon to fight the Pursuer and get the Ring of Blades +1. Being a millionaire obviously grants you access to many exclusive places, like Drangleic Castle for example. Here I got invaded by Forlorn yet again. It didn't go so well. The Twin Dragon Riders fell under the wrath of 1,000 punches. I unalived my little pony for the Gower's Ring, did the funny little thing I always do in this area, got the key to the King's Passage and first tried the Looking Glass Knight easily. I then arrived in Shrine of Amana, switched to the Gower's Ring and embraced my destiny. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Matter of fact, I got through the entire area without dying once. I got past the first part as easily as you could imagine, arrived at the second one, and everything was going well. I was one or two shotting enemies. I was feeling great. For good measures, I went back in Majula and leveled up some more. I know it's hard to believe it, guys, but I was having fun in Shrine of Amana. This run starts slow and is pretty repetitive for the first few hours, but once I got the Vanquisher seal, I was flying through the game. Yes, there was some jank like you would expect, but it was nothing too bad to deal with. The damage of my bare fist was much too great for these pathetic creatures. I picked up some goodies here and there, absolutely wiped the floor with the enemies in this area, arrived at the bonfire almost without a scratch, summoned Felicia the Brave to deal with the gear-breaking crabs. She even dealt with the big mama crab herself. I then black crystalled out, sent my regards to Felicia, played some songs to a demon, mainly percussions, and arrived at the undead crypt. Picked up the soul of a hero, unlocked the shortcut, and rang Belstead like the bellin that he is, obtaining the king's ring. I returned in Black Gulch to kill a couple of giants for the forgotten key to the DLC, paid an absurd amount of money for a ladder, but I'm a millionaire so I could have done this all day, every day, no problem. Got me the Dragon Talon, arrived at Shova, oh hello Sin, quickly returned to Majula to pick up the short bow, warped back to the Sanctum City, hello again Sin. Used the bow to move the contraptions, dropped down this hole and got rid of the ambushing bug, dropped down again and went up the stairs and up the ladders to pick up the Flynn's ring, which raises my AR up to 50 if I rock my birthday suit. The rest of the DLC could wait for now, because I had some Aldia to keep. Here I picked up yet again another ascetic, bullied the guardian dragon and arrived at the dragon area. Alright guys, time to be real with you. I burnt another ascetic in Black Gulch and beat up the Rotten again. The feeling is just glorious. I swear I am not an addict. I can stop whenever I want. Trust me, okay? After crossing everyone's favorite motion sickness bridge, I reached the Dragon Shrine, and once I reached the Ancient Dragon, well, I kinda forgot to get the seeds from him and immediately attacked him, and it was a mess. I didn't think of the consequences of my actions and got roasted. Also, I did not know it that if you fight the big guys, the Dragon Knights won't attack you. Okay, come here, Ancient Dragon. Time to get your nails done. This fight might have been designed by Miyazaki himself, since all you have to do is focus on its feet, and after that climactic fight of man versus foot, I entered the memory of Jai. Killed the last giant again. This time, he brought his best drip though. I entered the Throne of One and got my sweet, sweet revenge on the Godskin duo, the Throne Watcher and Defender, and also shown Nashandra who truly deserves to be king. But I wasn't finished just yet. I returned to the Iron Keep, killed the Iron King and got the Heavy Iron Key. Opened up the DLC, admired the beauty of decay and arrived in Brim Tower, picked up some more ascetic and lit the next bonfire. Bars, man. Went skydiving with Maldron, picked up more ascetics just in case, got invaded by Quicksword Rachel, but her Quicksword was not as fast as my fists. Am I right, Rachel? Found the Scorching Iron Scepter and got frog splashed out of existence. Restarted the Iron Factory and reached the Fume Knight. What a fight. I was a bit rusty at first, so I died a few times in order to get back in the rhythm. And after defeating my favorite boss, I returned to Shova, found the Dragon Stone and placed it, got jump scared, somehow found a secret bonfire and arrived at the Dragon Rest to fight and confront Ilana. This was my first time ever doing this DLC, so it was the first time I ever encountered this boss. Yes, I know, I'm a scrub. I didn't know I was missing out. Even though it's kind of a gank fight, I was really over leveled, so I didn't suffer as much. Overall, I enjoyed this fight. And Sin was immediately after, and I got him on my very first try. I went on to pick up the frozen flower in Dracula Castle, quickly dispatching the ruined sentinels, arrived in Yulum Lois, put on a coat cause it was cold as hell, picked up the Eye of the Priestess, got stuck by a barrel, gave some belly rubs to Ava, melted the ice and called up the homies because I had an Ivory King to defeat. And just like that, the ivory crown was in my possession. Sir Alon was the only one left, and I guess that's why they call him Sir Alone. And apart from the obviously atrocious run to the boss, I adore this fight. The way he moves so swiftly, the unrealistically shiny pavement, and the music. Oh, the music. Unfortunately, on my winning attempt, my internet started playing games with me, and this is what the footage looks like. So I burned an aesthetic and redid the fight on NG+. And the rest, as they say, is history. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it was all over. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please give it a like, comment down below. I really care about your feedback, and if you have any ideas for future runs, please let me know. And also, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one, where I will be defeating Dark Souls 3 using the worst weapon in the game.